everyone, my name is Carol and I live in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and I have a degree in culinary and baking and pastry arts. And I thought while everybody's quarantined and stuck at home, I'd teach how to make some of my favorite things. So today we're going to do homemade pizza. We're going to make our own pizza crust. We have the sauce, so let's begin. Okay, so we're going to start mixing the dough. We're going to start out with a really nice big bowl. Even though the dough is not going to fill up more than a third of it, you want to be able to mix it really well and give it plenty of room to rise. So I'm going to start, it's about 3 1/4 cups of flour, or if you want to do a scale, it is 500 grams. So we'll scoop the, oops, that's fun. Now we're scooping the flour. Okay, just a pinch more. Okay, we're good to go. So with that, I'm gonna add my sugar. And remember what I said last time about adding your sugar in one corner, your yeast in one corner, and your salt in the other corner. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add 3/4 teaspoon of sugar. Then I'm gonna add 2 1/2 teaspoons of yeast, which is exactly one of the packages. When you buy it at the store, it comes in a package of 3. And so one of those packages is exactly 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that in the other corner. And then that looks good for about 1/4. And then for the salt, it's 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna do that in the other corner. So then when I look down, I can see that I have the salt, the yeast, and the sugar. So I'm gonna take my whisk, and I'm just gonna whisk it together really, really well. You don't wanna just dump the water in because it's not gonna be incorporated good enough, so you're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna add 1 1/3 cups of water. And then I'm gonna get my spatula. And I'm just gonna start stirring that until it's really well incorporated. This dough will be a lot stiffer than the previous dough. And that's exactly how you want it. So you wanna mix it all up. You don't wanna over mix it because you don't want to have it develop too much gluten in it. And if you see that it's not coming together good, you can just sprinkle a little bit more water on it. And then once this comes all together, we are gonna cover it and let it rise for about 2 hours. And that's it. Okay, that's perfect. You don't wanna overmix it. So that looks perfect. This is exactly how it should look. Okay, you guys, now I have the dough that's been rising for about 2 hours, and this is how it looks after 2 hours. And just remember, if your house is cool, if it's in the middle of the winter, it's always a good idea to put it in a warm place. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the flour and put it on my cutting board. And I'm gonna take the dough out and put it on my board. And I'm gonna fold it over a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then I'm just gonna turn it like that. And I'm gonna sprinkle it with a pinch of water. And then I'm gonna get a food storage bag. And I love to buy the cheaper food storage bag because it's great to have them cover your dough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it and then cut it all the way down. You have the one side. Sometimes you can just pull them like that and they come apart, but not this brand. So then I'm gonna do this with this one. Okay, so then you have a perfect piece of plastic to cover your dough because you don't want your dough to dry out while it's rising. Then I'm gonna get a little spray pan and spray it over. And there we go. I'm gonna let this cover and sit for about 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, it's risen really nicely, and I take off my plastic. And here we go. Okay, everyone, so here we have the dough that's all set. It's all ready to go to make the pizza. So this will make 2 pizzas, and I like to use a pizza tray this size. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half. And then I'm gonna take some pan and spread over the pan. And then I'm going to cover the whole pan in olive oil. This is what's gonna make the crust. This is what's gonna make the crust really nice and crispy. So I'm gonna paint, whoop, little splash there, all over, and a little bit extra is fine. You wanna make sure you get all the sides and everything. And then I'm gonna put my pizza dough out. Just give me a sec. And I am gonna take the plastic. I'm gonna take the plastic wrap that I used to rise it, and I'm gonna put that on top of the pizza, and I am going to press it out like this. I find this the best and easiest way to do it. Your hands don't get all slimy, but it does it a lot more even, and it's a lot quicker. So I'm just gonna press it all out, and it'll come back a little bit because of the glutens, but that's okay. You just keep on pressing, and this is a great thing to do with your kids. They're all quarantined. You can either do it on mini pans and give each of the kids a pan, and they just love doing this and this and that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And we're gonna do this a little bit more here. Whoops, and if it breaks like that, don't worry, just push it back, cover it. There we go. And if it breaks really like that, then I'm just gonna take a pinch from one side and just put it on top. There we go. And see how it's all closed up? Well, that's fine. Okay, we're looking good. That's looking great. Okay, we're just about there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so there we go with that. And then I'm gonna take some plain tomato sauce. You can use any type of sauce you wanna use. I like to use this sauce, and so I'm gonna use that. But before that, I'm gonna drizzle on a little bit of garlic oil that I made. So I'm gonna get a little bit of garlic oil, and I'm gonna drizzle that on. Grab a pastry brush, and just brush a little bit of that. And for the garlic oil, I basically just heated up a little bit of olive oil and placed it in a saucepan with about 5 cloves of garlic, and just let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then you have the most delicious garlic oil. So then with that, I'm gonna take my plain tomato sauce, and you don't wanna do a whole lot. You really wanna enjoy the flavor of the pizza and all the ingredients. So as you see, I'm not putting a whole lot on it because I want the pizza to be really crispy. I don't want it to be limpy or anything. And you know how sometimes you've got a piece of pizza and it kind of flops over? I do not want that. So then from that, I have my tray of ingredients. So this is what's so much fun when you have a pizza party, that everybody gets to decide what they want to put on. Now for me, I'm a big vegetarian, so I like to do mushrooms. My husband loves meat, so he likes to do the meat. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just sprinkle on some fresh mozzarella. And I like to break it up a lot. I don't like the mozzarella to be like overpowering. And I like to use the fresher mozzarella. It comes pre-sliced at the grocery store, and this is my favorite to use. So I just put that over and break it up a little bit. And then pepperoni. I like to get the pepperoni really thin because I don't think you like the taste of the pepperoni, but I don't think you need to overload your pizza with it. Then the salami. So then I like to cut the salami in little strips, just so you get the flavor of the salami. This half is the meat lovers. And then I have some nice Italian sausage that I pre-cooked. And I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on. And add some more cheese. And then I'm gonna do my side, which is mushrooms. So I sauteed some really nice portobello mushrooms for about 4 minutes with just a pinch of olive oil, because when you saute mushrooms, they release so much moisture and then they soak into some of the oils. So you just wanna lightly coat the pan with a little bit of olive oil. So then after that's done, I have some fresh Parmesan cheese, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that all over the pizza. And then I have some more cheese. That's more Parmesan. I'm gonna sprinkle that. And then I'm gonna top it off if I see any spots that need more cheese. And there we go. It is gonna go into a 500-degree oven for 15 minutes on the lower rack. So we're all ready to take the pizza out of the oven. So it's been at 500 for 15 minutes. So let's take a look and see how we're doing. Oh, that's perfect. Isn't that beautiful? So hopefully this comes right off the baking sheet. So we're gonna take it off the baking sheet and I'm gonna put it on a cutting board. There it is. Slid right off. So then I'm gonna get my trusty pizza cutter and there we go. And here's my little cutting board. There you go. And then I'm gonna get some basil, and I am gonna chip and dale the basil. So when I went to culinary school, I thought this was the coolest thing I learned. So I'm gonna grab my knife, and I'm gonna roll up the basil like this, and then I'm just gonna chop it. And I like to add my basil after the pizza's all done. So there's that. And then I'm gonna sprinkle on a little bit of chili hot peppers and a little bit of fresh Parmesan. And last but not least, just a sprinkle of salt. You don't wanna put too much salt on it because Parmesan and mozzarella has a lot of salt on it anyway, but just a pinch. There we go. Bon appetit, enjoy your pizza, and have a great week.